Welcome to the right renovation. Keep motivated and stay on board. It's shower cubicle day, and there it is. Just pulled it up the stairs, 41.8 kilos. So this morning we'll unpack this, try and put it together. They're not the easiest to do, but let's have a go. It just says it's a two-man job. But my mum is coming around today. She's going to do a bit of painting in the back garden, bless her, on the fencing. It's a nice day. Let's get on with it. Okay, I've unpacked everything. That is it. That is your full instructions. So getting them side panels into the bottom profiles is definitely a two-man job. So I think I'll take my mum up here to just steady it while I get them at top and bottom fixed into the two side panels. Then you have to kind of move it out and put the sides in. See, you've got everything laid out, get it organised so you know where everything is and that you've got everything. You can see in a minute. Just got the bottom in with the side panel lent up against the wall, because then I've got to put the other bigger panel in there, which means I've got no control over that. So it is going to be a two-man job. So bear with me. Okay, so I've got my mum up to help me out. Got the bottom rails and the top rails. And what you do is you have to slot this short glass panel in down the bottom there. It's got like a coupling in it, this slot in. So I slotted that in, got my mum to hold it, it's a bit precarious. Then I had to slot this big panel in, same thing. Then shove the top one in, they just slot down inside each other. Then you put these glass stops on here to stop the glass falling out, top and bottom. So now you've got your basics of your shower cubicle. We offered it up onto there, and we inserted these into the side of here, and I've marked the wall down there of where it needs to go. You need about a 15mm gap all the way around the front edge. These walls are slightly out, and these give you a bit of movement, because once these are screwed on, obviously they slot into them, and then you screw from the inside into the frame, which holds the frame in. I'm going to put both these on, get my mum back up, help me lift it in, screw it in, and we're getting there. Well, we're about a fifth of the way there. So let's see. Okay, the inner sleeves are fitted to the wall, both sides, nice and straight. So now we just need to offer this up. So they'll go inside there, and we then drill a little 3mm hole through into there and put a little screw through, and that'll hold the structure pretty sound. Let's see how that goes. So what we've done now is we drilled through there, just with a 3mm drill. They give you a collar and a cap to go on, so you just screw through the collar and then pop the cap on, and that obviously get it level. Put spirit rubber down the glass, they're both lovely, bob on and level. So you got one at the top, one at the bottom. What you do later on is obviously just some clear sealant all the way down there, all the way down there, all the way around the inside, and then you're pretty watertight, so they say. So next job is to put some bumper stops on, what they call bumper stops, here, here, there and there, and this is for the doors. So when the doors open, they've got like a bumper stop. So I'm going to screw them on, same 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, and I think we'll be looking at putting the doors together. Stay with it. Okay, got slightly ahead of myself and forgot to film. Put the doors, put the runners on the top and the bottom of the doors, put the handles on, you hook the top ones on, you just go in the track there, then the bottom ones are spring loaded. You press that down and then you hook them in, and that keeps the door in. I've just put the seals on, got a magnetic seal. That seal's lovely. I'm not sure, I've just got all bits and bobs to put on now. And then it's seal up all around the sides and the bottom. And tomorrow, happy days, I'll be in it. Hey, that's the motivation. Nice shower. But we'll seal all up. No problems, looks well. Don't feel too intrusive when you walk in. Nice size, you've got plenty of room to get to the sink. Obviously the toilet. Radiator. I've had the heating on this morning, just check it, that works fine, no leaks. So we're nearly there. A few bits and bobs to put in. We're happy days. Okay, it's in. All the little trimmings on. Just like caps on top and stuff like that. Caps in the door handles and what have you. But it's in and it's finished. So all I've got to do now is seal up the sides, around the bottom, I ain't got no clear sealant. You're better off doing it in clear sealant, I think, much better. So we're just gonna bob off and get some of that. But yeah, it's all in and I can't wait. Get this sealed up today, shower tomorrow. So what's left to do? I've got that to sand down, which I'm gonna do this afternoon. Just wants a light sand, then I'm gonna get some paint on it, probably get a couple of 2 or 3 coats of brushing it on. I'm gonna box that in at some point, might wait till the floor's in though first. I think the next job after that is gonna be this door. It's just there, as I showed you. I'm gonna have that out on the bench and I'm going to sand it to death, fill it, try and make a good door, get the door back on, paint the frame, paint the door, and then all that's left is the skirting and the flooring. But like I've said, I'm gonna wait till I get my next project, the next step of the renovation, which is the big bedroom, get that all decorated, get a new carpet in it, I'll get the lino put down in here. At the minute, I'm just gonna chuck some rugs down so I can use it, so it'll be fine. But I think, ladies and gents, it's a good job. It's done what I wanted it to do, which was create space from a little bathroom that felt really small. Sink there, you couldn't get on it, limbo there, there was no alcove there, the bath was there, it was just awful. You have to open the door and shuffle in, and it was just awful. But now you can actually walk in, you've got a full shower. It's not a small shower, it's 1,000 by 800 offset corner shower. Got the rainfall shower in, which is good. We've got a new set of thermostatic taps in, a couple of bits and bobs older there. Same new corner sink, which we've got plenty of room to walk in now. And again, I know it's not a massive sink, but it'll do what you need to do in a bathroom. What do you do? You brush your teeth and do bits, but I'll get a little mirror put just here, just so you can look yourself. But we've obviously got a big mirror there, lots of room to put everything in there, so we don't need anything else out. Just don't want to clutter it or start to look even worse. Need a toilet roll holder, that's what I just thought, and I've got one of them, so I'll get a toilet roll holder put on there. And that's it, ladies and gents. So I think the next thing you'll see me doing is the door. We'll have that outside if the weather's permitting. I'll get my sander on it. I'll show you how I sand it completely down. Fill all the bits in with some of that True Pet filler. I will give it a little undercoat of something first, and then I will high gloss it. So I love the high gloss on doors. If it's done right, if it's not all dripped and it's smoothed on nice, they look great, and it gives a great finish. And we'll do that outer door as well. I've sanded all the inner door. We'll get it looking as best we can. Then we'll move on to the next project. Thanks for staying on board. Keep motivated, and I'll see you when I get that door out. Good morning, lovely people. Welcome back to Righty's Renovations. It's Friday, and today is door day. That bathroom door, we're nearly out. We're nearly out the bathroom. So today we're going to be making the best of this kind of rancid door, the best we can. But it's on a budget, so we're going to keep it as cheap as possible, and it'll still look good. As you can see, I've got the door off. These hinges are absolute crap. I don't know why people put these on. They're the weakest hinges you could do. Really, you should only use these for cupboards. What I'm going to do is I will fetch some ball bearing ones. They're obviously a lot more expensive than these. You normally get a couple for 3 or 4 quid, and the nice thick hinges with ball bearings in, and they just hold the door so much better. These are solid wooden doors, they're quite heavy, so we should have 3 hinges on it really. Should be one at the bottom. Normally it's 12 inch up from the bottom to the top, and normally 9 inches down from the top to there. The reason for that is it's when you look at it stood up with your eye line that they both look equal distances from the top and bottom of the door. But I think I will get one, and we'll stick one in the middle. These are quite heavy. It's in a reasonable condition, I'd say. I've got a big notch out of it there. What I'm going to have to do is build that up with filler and make the best square edge on it I can. Should be reasonably easy. I'm going to take all this door furniture off. I don't like these gold handles. I think they're so 1970s, 80s. Door handles aren't cheap. It's the only thing that annoys me. But if you search on Amazon, you can find some decent ones. So we'll get rid of them as well and put some brushed silver or chrome silver on. That'll be fine. But on the whole, the door's in reasonable nick. It's not too bent. It's got a little bend in it. You can see the bottom's been butchered, especially there. So I'm going to sand that as level as possible. But you'd be surprised what you can do with an old solid wooden door. Obviously the hollow ones, once they're knackered, they're knackered. But with these you can manipulate them a bit. So I'm going to set about it with my sander and my scraper, and whatever else I can lay my hands on. But first I'll take the furniture off and we'll get to it. So, we was looking about, don't know how long it looks on the time lapse, but it'll probably be about 45 minutes to do both sides. So, as you can see, as I'm always telling my missus, things will look a lot worse before they look a lot better. But you can see I've covered pretty much everywhere on it. It's all nice, down smooth. It's good because it's solid wood. Obviously the hinges are, I think, I'm going to fill all these hinges in. Same on the door frame upstairs, and I'm going to move the hinges just above and below. It's got that notch out there I've got to fill. That I can't do a lot with. The handle's got to the back there, so I'll make the most of that. Big notch out this corner I've sanded, but at least we should be able to get a square on that. And I've pretty much covered everything, and everywhere it's lovely and smooth. Both sides. So I'm going to do a bit of filling. Obviously I want that to go off rock hard, so I'll fill it all today, leave it till Monday. And I'm going to sand the filler off, then I'm going to undercoat it. You must undercoat it, people. A lot of people don't, they go straight in for the gloss. It's worth just putting a reasonable undercoat on, just a thin coat, don't you know, it's special. And then the high gloss paint will take to it so much better, be a lot more durable. So yeah, remember the undercoat. So yeah, for an old crappy door, which it is, which they all are like this, I think just for some graft, it costs nothing, does it? It's cost me a couple of sheets of sandpaper on my sander. That's it, bit of filler, and we'll paint it up. And I think you'll see when it's done, it's a huge transformation from what it was before. It won't look like a brand new door, because it's not a brand new build, is it? It's a renovation, so, but it will look decent. So we've banged some filler on. As you can see, I've just massively overfilled it. That was a big cut out of there. Just massively overfill it, let it go rock hard, then you can sand it down to exactly what you want it. Same on that. That was a big chunk missing. Just get plenty on. That's one of the hinges are filled. It's drooping slightly. Another hinge filled. Looks a bit rough, doesn't it? Like I say, things will get better. Done a bit around the bottom, around that corner. A few dinks and that I've tried to spot to fill in. Your first coat of undercoat will show any imperfections up, so you can always just quickly go over with a bit of skim on that. So yeah, so it's getting there. I've got to let that go off now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back into the bathroom, because I've got to paint up the side of where the toilet is, if you remember. I filled that in and sanded it down and gave it one coat. I just need to give that another coat today. Yeah, the bathroom is not that far off. I will be having a shower tonight. Yay, come on. Let's go and do that painting. So it's had 2 coats now, that. Still needs another one. While I've been waiting for it to dry, I've been doing a few bits. Remember, I've cleaned them copper pipes off. Took ages, that did it with my sander. Obviously I told you about them knobs, I stuck them in bleach the other night, they've come up perfect. Cleaned off the chrome valves, and I think they look so much better like that, rather than just covered in white gloss paint. I think that's a good little thing. Just been out and done a little bit of sanding on the door, but it's still just that little bit wet. I know I said we were going to leave it. It's a lovely day out there, so it's drying pretty quick. I'm just going to stick another coat on here, and I'll probably go outside and have a look at that door again, see what it's looking like. Monday morning, I'm up and I'm motivated, so stay on board. Okay, so I've been bitting and bobbing about in the bathroom this morning before I get to my door. I just wanted to get a few bits done and dusted. So what I've been doing is I put a shelf up just there above the sink. Just because the sink is small, I can get a little soapish on there, but it's not ideal. So I put a shelf up there to have me toothbrush in and soap and what have you. And I put a nice little unobtrusive rail there for the hand towel. That actually came with the shelves. That was supposed to go underneath the shelves to hang a towel on, but that didn't work for me. So I whipped it off and I put it on there and that works perfect. So I've got everything I need really pretty much set up there. The only thing I'm gonna get now is I'm thinking of getting one of them round mirrors that like springs out, if you know what I mean. It's on like a pivot and you can pull it out. So I'm thinking if I have it flat to this wall, it won't be obtrusive when you walk in, because it's all about keeping the space in this small bathroom. Something that can just be pulled out, used, pushed back in. So I'm going to get one of them. So that's that. And if you remember this cabinet, we've got a mark there which I've sanded down. There was a mark there, but when I started sanding it, it came off, which is brilliant. Obviously, we can't live with that because the minute you walk in the door, your eye goes straight to that. So what I've done is I've taped all this off. I've actually used a B&Q catalogue. So all I want to do is just give this front edge a little light spray with some of this. It's a bit radiator paint actually, so I think it's going to work fine. I had some others to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray that up, hopefully. It might give it a bit of, because it's a bit off-white, this cabinet. It might look a bit white, but I'm thinking doing it on there, because there is a shadow that comes down, it's not going to be that noticeable. I had this in the garage, so it's cost me nothing. So let's do it, see what it looks like. That is the finished result. It's not bad, is it? You can see a little dint there where I've had to sand it down, but that was all I could do because there was a bit of a chunk missing out of it. But I've just sprayed that. You can see where the line was, but I don't think it looks too bad because it's just on the edge and just lipping over. It's actually made a nice little finish, nice little gloss finish. It doesn't stick out. Just see the top of that there. But on the whole, when you walk in the door, it don't really hit you in the face anymore. So for a free cabinet, just a little bit of graft. We've got a reasonable finish on that. When you got your stuff stood on it, but I think anyway. Not wanting to sound like a bodger. I don't think that's a bad fix. I'm just working out my boxing in to go around there. But I've worked out, once it's made up, I can't get it out of there until I take the toilet out. So I can't get it in there until I've took the toilet out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it up, make a good joint on the top, sand it. Might do a little bit of filler, just to, you know, make the joint good, but I'm going to glue it together with mitre glue. It's ever so strong stuff that. See, you know, give a bit of a sand and that, and maybe a little bit of filler just to make the joint look really good. And then I'm going to bathroom paint it with the same paint as this, it's quite durable. Then what I'm going to do is wait till I have my lino put down, because I'm going to take the toilet out, because I hate to see lino cut around the toilet and then sealant around it. I just think it looks awful. For the sake of me, I'm doing 2 screws on the bottom, 2 screws on the back, pulling the pipe off, emptying the water out, dragging it into the toilet when the fitter comes, into the bedroom when the fitter comes. It'd be so much easier for him to lay down as well if he's not going around that. He's got to go around that, obviously, but he'll be able to cut a nice little thing in. You can see I've just dropped some skirting in there. I've just been to the wood yard. I've got 2 lengths of 8-foot skirting, and then 2 pieces of MDF to do all that for about 14 quid. I'm going to put my skirting on after the lino as well, because that looks so much better. And while the skirting's not on, cut it all to size, exact size, and then I can prime and paint it. Then once the lino's down, I'll go on top of that, which makes it look even better finish. So let's go. Oh yeah, I've filled in the hinges on the door frame, because like I said, I'm going to move them on the door downstairs. So I've filled them in and sanded them down. They look well. I'm just waiting for my door to go off a little bit more, so I can finish that. Then I'm going to brush it all off, wipe it all off and paint it. So that's probably the next thing you'll see me doing. So it's all these little bits and they take time, and today's been a bit of a drag. Don't know why, it's about 1 o'clock, but it's just been a bit of a drag today. You got to keep motivated and stay on board. That's what it's all about. We're getting there. So by the end of today, I'll have that made up and ready to paint. My door should have it undercoat on and 1 coat gloss before the end of play. I have painted up there again as well. You can see that's had 4 coats now. I took some covering that, but that looks nice now. It's a nice finish, so that's all good. Let's get on with making that up. Oh, one thing I forgot. I thought I'd best show you the shower working. I don't think I have. So it's been in. So it's on a thermostatic bar. Just turn that one to turn it on. That one's set at 39 degrees. You turn it up or down if you want it. And we've got a right good pressure. An absolute lovely shower. Comes down, runs away perfect. No clogging. It's coming out at some rate, but it's a lovely shower. So that is working perfect. Just thought I forgot to show you that. So there you go. You can do it. Remember, you can do it. You can achieve this. It's, just take your time. Do it right. Do it once. Lovely job. Okay, it's time to paint the door. I finally finished filling and sanding and filling and sanding. Tried to get the best finish I can before I paint it. It's difficult because this door is absolutely full of filler and what have you. As you can see, we've filled all the big notches out. We've tried to take the dinks out, filled the hinges in both sides. No, the hinges on that side. We've tried to get the best finish we can. Say we. I don't think it's gonna look bad when it's painted up. So it's sanded, 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 filled, sanded. Got to a point now where I thought it's gonna look how it's gonna look, but it's gonna look 100 times better than it did before. This is what we're working with. I'm gonna put some Fortress Trade undercoat on. It's good stuff. Give it a good stir. We're gonna replace it with a bit of high gloss. I say replace it, cover it with high gloss. It'll have a couple of coats of that high gloss, but I'm gonna get a good coat of that. This dries quite quick. We'll see. This will fill in some of the small imperfections, but not all of them. And you remember me talking about the hinges? If you remember them old horrible hinges that were on. These are the ones you can buy. They're good, they're ball bearing, they're nice solid hinge. They come in a pack of 25, pack of 20, and they're 25 quid. So it works out about £1 something each, which is nothing really if you buy them in bulk. If you buy them in sets of 3, they're like 4 or 5 quid, so it makes sense to buy 20. I'm going to use at least 20, 21 I'll need for 7 doors, so because I want to put 3 hinges on each. Although I'm thinking only putting 2 on this one because I'm going to have to move the hinges down and up, so we might be alright with just 2 because these are good strong hinges. Never fail. You can see how solid they are compared to them flappy horrible things that were before. So it's worth spending a bit of money on that. If you're going to do all your doors, which I am, we're going to put decent hinges on. I'll show you how I'll put the hinges on once the door's obviously done and ready. I'll put the hinges on. Let's get painting. Okay, so that's the first coat put on. Starting to look better already. Like I said, it don't take too long to dry this stuff. Just brushed it on with kind of a fine brush. It's not that warm today. Not got the heating on. So we'll see how long it takes to dry. I don't think I'll need to put another coat of undercoat on. So you can see it's picked up a couple of little imperfections. There's one there, but on the whole, it don't look too bad for what it is. I mean, it was a battered door. Kind of give it a rustic feel. that's my excuse. That's the only trouble with doing it like this. It's good doing it like this because you don't get any runs or anything like that. And it's a lot easier, not up and down on your knees and that. I will wait till it dries, spin it over, give the other side an undercoat, wait for that to dry. It is a bit time consuming, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop upstairs and I'm going to cut all the skirting to length. Show you how we're going to do that. Ready to go in. But I want to put that in after the flooring, so I always think skirting looks better on top of flooring. It just looks so much more neater. Well, yeah, we're going to cut all the skirting to size. Okay, I've cut one piece of skirting down the back wall, I'll show you. I need to box in them pipes really that go up to the sink, and then I can run my skirting up to the boxing, and that'll look so much more neater rather than cut the boxing around the skirting, if you see what I mean. So what I've done is I've got some MDF that I've got left over. I'm going to do a 2.5 by 2 lengths. Obviously kept 2 good edges, which you can see I've arrowed there. Because you want the good edges for where you're joining. You get a better, neater finish. So, I'm going to cut them. Fingers crossed they cut nice. You can do it with a circular saw. See what happens. I'm going to cut them to length first. And there's the 2-inch, 2.5 inch. Going to put them together. That should cover his pipes. All I'm going to use is some mitre compound. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a glue that you put on one edge and then you spray the other edge. Then you get about 2 or 3 seconds to put them together. Get them in place, hold them for about 10 seconds and it will stick solid. And that'll give us a good little boxing in. Okay, so we've got us 2 pieces. What I'm going to use is this no nonsense mitre kit adhesive and the activator. You buy these as a kit. Glue on one side. You just put a bead of glue. You don't need a huge amount of glue, just a bead of glue all the way up. And what we're going to do is stick this down to that. Don't spray this near your glue, because you don't want it going on your glue, so spray it away from there. You just spray it down the edge. And when these two touch each other, they go off immediately. Get it in place, press down and hold. Don't have to hold for long. I'm going to sand this down like I did the last one that I did. Get it all nice and smooth. I can start painting that up, so I'm going to paint it white because I think that'll look nice against the grey tiles. Bit of contrast under the sink. Hold for 10-12 seconds. As you can see, done together. So that's the boxing in. Let's go back to the bathroom, put that in place, then we'll cut the skirtings up to it. Now let's try that for size. That fits in there nice. If we want to, we could run a bead of silicone up it to hold it in, but I'm thinking if anybody needs access to turn off the taps, don't really want to be scraping off sealant just to get to it. So I've not gone all the way to the top because I didn't want to interfere with the pipes that obviously come this way a bit. So I've left it about 3 or 4 inches down, which is not seen by the eye as you walk in. That's fine. So what I need to do now is measure my skirting to butt up. And you see what I mean about how it butts up to the boxing, rather than putting my skirting on and then having to cut a notch out around the boxing to go around the skirting. That's going to look so much better. That will pretty much hold it in place as well, thinking about it. Yeah, if you need to take it out, there's enough uplift to be able to lift that up and come away. So what I'm going to do is measure the length of that and measure the length of that. The one going in there, we're going to scribe so it sits over the top. I don't know if you've scribed skirtings before. I'll show you how to do that. We need 2 external corners here and here, there and there. And I'm going to wait till my boxing in goes before I put a bit to the boxing in there. I'll get my tape measure, we'll measure that up. So I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger. We have got a little notch just to go over there because I want it tight up against there so it looks right. If we don't, we're going to have a gap there. So I'm going to, can you see what I'm talking about? I'm rubbish with this camera. Yeah, there's a little notch there we need to come over. So I'm going to cut it about 1/4 inch over size and then I can notch out the bit just to go round there. Just so that looks neat. We'll be putting some sealant or cork within that, so. Okay, let's offer that up for size. Just do it with the hand saw. Okay. See, that goes in. Don't look too bad. I'm going to drop a bit of sealant in anyway. Just come up the side of the skirting and it drops some in there as well. And we'll go along the top. Alright, we'll cut the bit for this side. Okay, that's a piece that fits in there. Them 2 corners here butt up nice to the box. They'll actually hold that in place as well, which is good. But like I say, it will lift just above the skirting to pull out in case anybody needs to get behind there for the isolators. So what we're going to do now is we've got to cut this. I'm going to scribe that end so it's the same profile as that, and it'll just push in and it'll seal perfect with a bit of cork in it. Then when we come to here, I've got to have an external corner mitre, 45-degree mitre coming out of there. That's a little bit more difficult to do. Is I will cut the wood. What you have to do is, I'll show you, is cut a 45 external that way and then you trim it down with a little saw. Okay, so I've cut the wood ready for scribing. That is obviously going butt up against the piece of wood that comes across the back. So what you do is you cut a 45 going away from you and you get your coping saw. These are pretty cheap to pick up. Get some nice new blades for them, makes the job a lot easier. You haven't got to be perfect with this, but when you do cut it, what I want to do is cut down this edge, which is the edge of the wood there. Okay, even around that profile there, which is going to be difficult, it'll probably break off. And what we want to do is, when we're cutting, we want to go slightly inwards like that. Then that stops any of this pushing up against the wood that you're butting up against. Not easy. Try and keep your hand as steady as you can. Slightly go in when you're running your coping saw through it. And try and stay on that line. As you can see from the front, it now gives you a profile. Obviously sand that down with a bit of paper that goes over there. And if I get the other bit off skirting, I can show you. So you've got your skirting board like that. And as you can see, if I turn it slightly to an angle so you can see it, when you push them up together, they fit lovely. And that's called scribing. This way, it doesn't matter whether your wood's 10 degrees out. You've got that, always got that option. So try, you can always have one wall not scribed and obviously scribe one pushing into it as your eye line looks down it, if you know what I mean. So it's not that way, so you'd see the join. That way you don't see it. Let's go and see how that fits. That slots in there absolutely perfect. That will make a lovely corner join. So yeah, as you can see, that's pushed in nice there. So I just need to mark off where that corner is where I need my 45 to come out. I did cut it long on purpose. I'll mark up the back of there, knowing that my 45 angle needs to come off there to accept the one I'm going to put on there. I'll take that back to the chop saw. Okay, so I've cut this bit along here. As you can see, it's got a 45 there, 45 there. I'm going to mitre glue them together to get the nice join. You see, that's quite a decent join. We'll stick that together. Okay, so pretty much the same routine. Not too bad a join at all. That will now slot in there. Now what I need to do is cut a piece for there. We'll have to trim that slightly. See, I've run it too long. Always run them a bit long. It's hard to cut them bang on, because if you go short, you're knackered sort of thing. So the mitre is coming out from the corner of the wall. It didn't take about that much off. You can see that. Then I'll cut a piece there, just to butt up to there, which will then butt up to my boxing in. So it's not going to be a big piece. That should all slot in and nice. So I'll go and trim that. I'll cut a little piece with a 45 on, and we'll mitre glue that in place. So that's it in. Fits nice and snug in there, like so. And you can see where my tiling goes in slightly. Bit of caulking in there, and when it's painted up and glossed, it'll look fine. Gone around the corner there, pretty much just gone about the right distance. Go up to the boxing in. We've got that in, around there. Looks nice and neat, around there. Not a bad job at all. So all I need to do now is put a piece in across there. I'm going to scribe onto that, drop a piece. This last piece I've got, the two pieces I've got have just been enough. So I'm going to scribe that end there so it butts up to there, sits behind the toilet. That's all the skirting and boxing in ready for the flooring going down. That coat is dry. So going up and doing that skirting has been bob on for us. Hey, something that looks pretty good too. Obviously you can still see a few dinks. Can't see me wanting to go around and fill it again. You know, it is an old door. It is going to look a lot better than it did, 100 times better than it did. Like I say, you have to remember what it looked like before. Let's get it flipped over. Just slightly over with the paint just there. Just taking that off now. It just set nice and tough. This undercoat, nice and tough. For a bit of paint. I know the trade lads out there do this all day, every day, and they make it look so easy. You know, so they're skilled at what they do. But This is for all you people out there who want to do a renovation, always wanted to do a renovation and are in the fortunate position you can take the time out to do it. Like I say, keep motivated, stay on board, just take your time, pull on people's experience, the lads out there. If you're not sure how to do something, there's YouTube, there's other places, speak to people you know, and have a go. What have you got to lose? This was an old door, knackered. You know, to look at it hanging there, you'd have thought, Christ, just throw it in a skip, which a lot of people would have done. But try and do this on a budget, because the cheaper you can do this renovation and it still look good, if you sell the house on, all the benefits come with it then. See what I mean? I will show you a comparison. Once I've glossed it, I'll stand it next to the one I've took off what I call my shit room, sorry for my language, where I keep all my tools and bits and bobs, and I'll stand them together and I'll show you the difference. It might make you appreciate just what a bit of hard graft and not a lot of money really comes to. Like I said, the primer undercoat and the high gloss and the hinges come 70 quid. When you think I'm going to be doing 7-8 doors with that, they will do all 8 doors. So it works out less than tenner a door, bit of hard graft, bit of filler. So it's not that bad when you look at it that way. Anyway, we'll stop boring you and I'm going to get some more paint on this. To get some paint on here, some gloss. That's dried lovely. I'm quite happy with that. Looks quite good, doesn't it? Let's have a look what a coat of eye gloss will look like. It's going to need a couple of coats, so I'm going to drop a coat on now. We'll see how that dries a bit later. Do a little video, show you, see what you think. Okay, so that's the first coat of gloss. I think it's looking pretty nice. It looks a hell of a lot better than it did. That's one side, one coat of gloss on one side. So I'm going to flip it, gloss the other side. It just took so long to dry because it's not warm weather. Yeah, I need to get the other side glossed. And what I'll do is I'll let that go off. Then what I'm thinking is I'm going to hang it. I'm going to go upstairs and paint the door frame, get that ready. Then when it's all dry, I'm going to hang it and then give the door a second coat while it's hanging. So we're nearly at the end. So keep motivated, stay on board. Let's get this painted. Okay, so we're going to leave it there for today. We're going to get this door painted up, and next video is we'll hang the door. So thank you to everybody who likes, comments and shares on this video. Please continue following me on my journey, and I will see you tomorrow.